post-game show live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. Even if it is another loser's lounge, we still out here and we still presented by Bet365. Avs lose 2-0 to the Detroit Red Wings. Their first shutout loss of the season. You fail to muster a single goal after beating this team 5-0 not 2 days ago. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't disappointing, J-Mike, but there's one game left before the Olympic break. Just get to the break, man.
Lord have mercy on us all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we army crawl our way to the Olympic break with a little bit of dignity still intact? That's kind of feels like the stretch we're in right now.
I think I'm even past that point of apathy. If they can get through the Sharks game with no injuries, they can lose that game 20-0. I don't care.
I just feel bad for the folks that spent their hard-earned money tonight.
Tough game, man. Tough game to be at.
I appreciate everybody that came to the DNVR Avalanche takeover. Awesome event. We had a lot of fun engaging with some of you. Got to meet a lot of new people, which was really cool. And the performance on the ice just did not live up to the moment even a little bit.
Nope. There's a couple of angles that we'll get into all of this on the show, obviously, but was this as bad of an effort as it was on some of the road games that they got blown out in? No, I don't think it was as bad, but that does not make it good enough. And there are some caveats here. There is some understanding of context of, Marty Necas is not in this game. Yeah, Gabe Landeskog is not in this game. You can see the Avs struggle with their lack of forward depth, I think, a lot more tonight with guys playing above their station. They succeeded in the previous game against Detroit, but Detroit played them a lot tougher, played them a lot closer, and the Avs struggled to get effective hockey when it came to execution as well tonight. Like I said, I don't think the effort was the worst in the world. That doesn't make it good enough. But when you combine a subpar effort that isn't terrible with a night where simply no one is executing, that's how you end up with a shutout.
I mean, it was kind of exactly what you talked about pregame, the necessity of getting a better volume of shots on net, because you're not going to finish like you did every game. Right. Like you did on Saturday, and this was kind of a perfect example of that. Just too passive, too cutesy. Felt like a lot of guys kind of stagnant, waiting around for somebody else to make a play, and nobody answered that call tonight.
One of my two biggest problems is exactly that, and I want to get into it, but I do want to hit the 60-second rundown first, which, don't worry, it will not be long. 30 seconds into the game, Devon Toews' first game back in a while, makes a bad decision, gives up a 2-on-1 the other way. Really, it's like a 3-on-1.5. Ends up in the back of the Avs net. The Avs are trailing, and they spend the rest of the game trailing. Of a 60-minute hockey game, they trailed for 59 minutes and 27 seconds. That is a long time to be trailing in a close game. And that was more or less it. Anytime it felt like the Avalanche was building up steam in this game, which was not that often, something would stop it, whether it's a error of execution from the Colorado or a power play that completely comes up short. No long stretches of domination from Colorado existed in this hockey game. Some of that is Detroit limiting them, but a lot of that is of their own volition, and the only other goal is an empty netter at the end of the game. So not much else to say. We have to do a 60-minute show, and we will, and we'll get into some of the details there. But if they didn't pay my bills, this show would be about 10 minutes long.
The writing was on the wall pretty early in this one.
Yeah, it really, really was. And I can forgive the execution errors. It happened. 20 games a year, your team, it just doesn't click. You're not quite executing on the level that maybe you should be, or things are a little bit off, or whatever it is. I can forgive some of that. I struggle to forgive the mindset that the Avs brought to this game. Again, you trailed for 99% of the hockey game. There are 120 30-second segments in a hockey game, and you trailed for 119 of them.
And it just felt like outside of maybe a 5-ish minute stretch in that second period, there just really wasn't much of a push. Like there wasn't that moment where it felt like, all right, keep this up. You're so due. You're so due. It just kept, you kept waiting for it to come.
You, again, trailed for 99% of the game. You trailed within the first minute of the game, and by the end of the second period, you had 12 shots on goal. Now, some of that is effort. Some of that is you simply need to stop missing the net, Cale Makar. There are a lot of other people that were missing the net too tonight, to be fair. We'll get into all of them. But that's not acceptable from a hockey team that you have regularly watched put up 40 shots in hockey games this year.
And you get outshot 12-4 in the second.
Yeah, it's not non-competitive. And yes, are guys playing above their station? Yes. Are you missing pieces like a Natchez and a Landeskog? Yes. So what? It does not take every piece in your arsenal to put up effective hockey. We watched this team for 3 months, night in and night out, put up shots, put up the effort, put up the offensive threat. And some nights the puck didn't go in. And
it's going to happen. There are games like
frustrating, that. But you didn't even get to that. You watched a team outwork the Avs tonight.
At least make them goalie you, if anything. Make them work for it.
Gibson made 2 good saves, 3
2
good
or 3
saves tonight.
And none of them were Sports Center worthy or anything like that. I mean, it was all pretty basic, right in the center of the net. Like he didn't have to work that. I mean, the closest was that opportunity where he's on his back and Val just for whatever reason doesn't put it on net.
Absurd. So many things to say about that. I just don't want to dive into that just yet because there's other factors there. But this is when you are missing high skill guys like a Marty Natchez, what you lean on is your work ethic. Mm-hmm. What you lean on is going and outworking the other team. And you saw the game plan for the night was the Avs trying that. A lot of dump and chase, a lot of dump it in, go get the puck. A lot of, hey, if we can win the puck battles, we can create something by outgritting this team. And that was the game plan. But the execution was a lot of you dumped it in and Detroit won the puck and you are now playing defense again.
How much can you really adjust on the fly in a situation like that? Like, I would assume you'd be able to, but I get like once you lean into something like this is what we're trying to do, it's pretty easy to just keep going back to that well over and over again. But at some point, I feel like you need somebody to be like, well, this isn't working, so let's shake it up a little bit here. You
need your top guys, frankly. And again, missing guys, blah, 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 sure.
Still got Nathan McKinnon, still got Cale Makar.
Those
got
guys
Toews back here hoping for a big
on their
performance.
stick and do something.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for all-world hockey. I'm asking for Nathan McKinnon to get you a zone entry, which he does 1 billion times a night, every night. And they didn't step up and get the job done in that respect. I think it's unrealistic to ask more out of a second line that is Brock Nelson, Ross Colton, and Victor Olofsson. You got good play out of them in the first Detroit game, and that was more than you reasonably should have expected. And then they regressed to, both of your wingers are playing above their station, so it's not a surprise that that wasn't a super effective line. The third and fourth lines, I believe, put in a good effort today. I don't have a problem with your depth effort and your forward core. But they're your depth. Parker Kelly missed a bunch of shots because he's Parker Kelly, man. Yeah. Like, you can't expect...
If you're living and dying because Parker Kelly couldn't capitalize, then you weren't playing your brand of hockey.
Yeah, it not set up to get the job done tonight. And...
was this maybe more inevitable than we gave it credit for pregame? Just probably. The classic, you're playing twice in 72 hours... you kick the crap out of them in their own building. I mean, we talked about if Detroit has even a semblance of self-respect, you're going to get a significantly better effort than what you saw on Saturday. And they did. I mean, they were the better team, but I also think a lot of that was just the Avs kind of deciding we just don't really feel like playing that hard tonight.
This will be the Avs' 4th straight game to fail to reach 30 shots on goal. One of those is because they have a lead and got the coast. The other 3 are them simply not going to work and doing the job that they needed to do. And on the one hand, you knew Detroit was going to punch back and play a tougher game against you. And they absolutely did. I don't want to take credit away from Detroit. They made the Avs' life significantly harder tonight. But that's no excuse. Colorado still needs to show up and work hard too. They still need to get the job done when they're given opportunities. And that's almost the entire difference in tonight versus the 5-0 win on Detroit. When Detroit made mistakes in the first game, the Avs absolutely capitalized
on every single one of them.
And tonight, they didn't capitalize a single time. Obviously, when you look at the score and there's a goose egg up there for Colorado, it's because they didn't capitalize on a single thing. And there are a number of factors that dig into that. But first and foremost, who on this team actually wants to score goals? Honestly.
Josh Manson.
I get, if you asked everyone on the Avs, of course, you ask a hockey player, you want to score goals, they're going to say yes. But actions speak louder than words. And there are a handful of guys that desperately do not want to shoot the puck on the Colorado Avalanche right now. Actually think less so Nathan McKinnon, though there was some of that tonight. But you look at a Val Nichushkin, you look at a Brock Nelson, you look at some of their top 6 guys tonight, and those dudes were desperate to give the puck to anyone else than actually look at the net and shoot.
Well, and it just became such a consistent theme in this one to where every single time you're looking at them, it's like you're not even looking at the net.
Yep. You're not even thinking about shooting. It was never something that crossed your mind.
Do you feel like that's more this being the dog days of the season, complacency given the Olympic break is coming up? Do you think it's a lot of because McKinnon's been producing so much at this rate, it's just easy to kind of lean into if you're some of the more secondary guys of Nate'll make a play at some point.
If we exclude the power play, which I do want to talk about on its own, at 5-on-5, this is a team that is not going to work every single night. It is not doing the details that you need to win every single night. And I'm actually happy about that in a weird, twisted way, because I know when they decide to show up and actually go to work, they'll be just fine. But when you're watching it in the moment, the Avs had no business winning this game, did not deserve it. Straight up bungled their opportunities, and when it came down to crunch time and you needed to make a play, you watched them lose puck battle after puck battle. Detroit was happy to spend the entire third period along the boards pinning pucks, and the Avs would send one guy there to kind of shove at it. Where's the second guy jumping in?
Yeah.
Where's the effort from you as a team to go out and win the puck battle, not take no for an answer, and put yourself in a position to win this game? And frankly, it wasn't there, which is, again, the Avs are the best team in the NHL. They have the most points in the NHL. You could make a very legitimate argument that they've earned a week off. They're going to, even if they get blown out by 1 billion by the San Jose Sharks in their last game before the break, they will not only be the best team in the NHL by 7 points, they'll also have games in hand on everyone. They're fine. If you're making overarching issues out of this besides the power play, I don't see that. I do not see a team that is struggling and suddenly scrambling to be a good hockey team. I see a team that sees a break coming up and says, we quit a week early.
I think that's fair. I do think there's something to be said about it being highly disappointing that you're going on basically a 10-game stretch of home games now of pretty lackluster hockey. And that's the benefit of playing as well as you did, is that you have that slack. But at some point, when does this become enough of a habit to where it really starts to burn you? And I don't think you're really even that close to being in that position yet. No. But I will say, thank God the Olympic break is coming, because I think I need a break from watching this team as much as the Avs need a break from playing.
It's mixing together, right? You desperately want to get to the Olympic break because the Olympic break is there. If the Olympic break wasn't there, I don't think we see this stretch of hockey from the Avs right now. I think both of those things are true. A number of other things I want to get into, including the defense. Was really hoping to see Devon Toews fix a lot of this issues for this defense, getting back into the lineup and reslotting everyone. Didn't.
Showed some rest tonight.
And Toews, I can forgive Toews. First game back, whatever. But you were hoping the rest of those deep pairings would make sense and kind of slot back into playing their better versions of themselves. And you really did not get that out of anyone. Frankly, I don't know that I loved any of their defensemen's games tonight. Makar, I think the effort was there, which is a checkbox that a lot of people don't get in this game. But whatever is going on with him in the offensive zone is starting to become too consistent. Dude's got to hit the net. Dude's got to trust in his shot. Dude's got to make the right play. You're not getting that. Maybe there's some concern there if it's gone on long enough with Cale. You'd like to see him fix it. I'm rambling on another topic that we can get more specifics on the other side of this break. We do need to take our first commercial break of the show here, so let's make sure we hit that. As we are presented by the fantastic folks over at Common Spirit. Thankfully, the Avs are actually on the mend, which maybe is more of a disappointment in tonight than anything, but we see that they're getting guys back and there's no real serious injury concerns. Common Spirit Health can help you get into that situation too. They're more than just hospitals and clinics. They're a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being and woven into the very fabric of your community. Whether it's a routine checkup, managing a chronic condition, or responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. From preventative care to advanced surgical solutions, their skilled physicians and caring staff are here for you, offering personalized treatment tailored to your unique needs. You can expect a blend of cutting-edge technology with a commitment to human kindness at their 20 hospitals and 240 clinics and care sites right here in Colorado. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, also the official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
We also want to talk to you guys about new built restoration and construction. Licensed general contractors who can help with any big project, big or small. They're available 24/7 and they truly care about being there for their customers. There's over 600 reviews that prove this to be true. They will work with your insurance to make sure a stressful process like this is as smooth as possible. And what's awesome is they offer such a variety of services. Whatever you need, they are going to be there for you during those tough times. Fire damage, water damage, mold removal, repair services, commercial projects, you name it, they do it. They are truly in their bag when it comes to these stressful scenarios. Trust a professional, trust somebody who's actually active in this community. It's awesome about New Built, DNVR fans. We love working with companies like that, and we love supporting their businesses as well. When that home emergency hits, the New Built Restoration and Construction crew will be there for you at nubilt.com, or you can just call 720-903-4254. Let them know that DNVR sent you.
Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by Bet365. All right, let's just talk about the power play. Let's get that out of the way first, and then I can get into the defense and the forward core and all of that. I said this after their last loss. Do something. You have to do something. Real. Not the junk that they've tried. They've tried all these things allegedly, and it has fixed nothing. Your power play after tonight, net is going to be at 10.0. The worst power play in the NHL by net percentage. You are now losing games because your power play is coming up short. Your special teams is actively costing you effect. And tonight, we saw two entirely separate problems on the power play. We saw one power play that was frankly horrible and completely killed any momentum you had at the end of the first period. Just complete garbage. And then the second power play you got in this game, we saw a much more real, I think, issue with the Colorado Avalanche. I think there's something to be said about the Avalanche power play. When they care, when it's the playoffs, there'll be a decent bit more effort from those guys out there to make the right plays and get effective hockey going. But the second power play in this hockey game consisted of every single player on the ice not even looking to shoot the puck. You're watching guys stand perfectly still, pass it to someone else, and say, go make a play. McKinnon, Makar, Nelson, Nichushkin, Lehkonen, all of them just completely flat-footed for the majority of the power play. And when you finally put together a great play, and probably should have been rewarded for it, Val Nichushkin watched John Gibson fall on his own ass, throw out the miracle, like he just throws his glove out hoping for hope that Val Nichushkin shoots it into his glove. And not only does Val Nichushkin not shoot the puck, he doesn't even look at the net. He's not even aware that he has 95% of the net to shoot at from 2 feet away, and tries to pass a puck through John Gibson to the back door of the ice for no reason. Like, genuinely, I don't even understand how he came to that decision other than he had made up his mind on what he was going to do. And instead of assessing the ice in front of him, he just committed to it and didn't even look.
I mean, I just feel like it was kind of representative of everything that's so annoying with this team at times, is that as skilled as they are, as much as they have an athletic advantage against so many teams they match up against, they just get so cutesy at times, or straight up just passive. And like, I don't even mean passive from the sense of I'm trying to pass the puck, which there's too much of that.
Just doing nothing.
Just, I'm not even in that mentality right now of looking to score. And when you get that grade A opportunity, you got to be ready to capitalize. And it didn't feel like anybody on that power play was hunting a shot. It didn't feel like anybody was like, you want to know what? I'm going to try and create some space here. Yep. Let's see if we can literally just change the angle a little bit. It was so much of just sitting around hoping, praying, waiting for somebody else to step up and make a play.
Yep.
And it's just become such a consistent theme with this group that I mean, that was so ugly. It's to a point where I wouldn't have been upset if, like, on the next power play, Bednar just threw it all out the window and threw 5 random dudes out there, because
that's doing something.
It can't be any worse than what that was.
You cannot continue to live with this. And while I am unconcerned about the Avs' effort levels over the last week, and I understand that when the chips are down, this team will show up and be fine, it's been a week of poor effort and poor play from the Avalanche, and a team that looks like it just wants to get to the Olympic break. It has been 3 months, 3.5, almost 4 months. We're in February. Almost 4 months of the Avs power play doing the same things and getting the same result. Now, I don't care who you want to blame for that, because I think all of them should take the blame for that. Hackstall, McKinnon, Bednar, Lehkonen, Nichushkin, Nelson, Natchez, Landeskog, whoever. They all have to shoulder the blame. And at a certain point, you have to look in the mirror and say, it's not good enough. When is that day going to come? Because we've had the player meetings. We've had the coaches meetings. We've had the meetings of teams. You met with guys outside the team. Jared Bednar ran the power play for a day. You guys asked the entire team, what should we do on the power play? Someone has to take the reins and say, okay, first of all, Dave Hackstall, what do you do here? And the answer is, actually, he does a lot of good stuff, but it's not the power play, which is what he was hired to do. How long can you live with that? I can't live with it much longer. I don't work for the Avs, so my voice doesn't mean anything. But can you really continue to live with that? And if the answer is yes, okay, top unit. What do you do here?
I just think the question you have to ask yourself as an organization is, what are we going to be telling ourselves come mid-June if this is the reason that this incredible team doesn't get to where they're supposed to be? And how much regret are you going to have that you just spent the entirety of the season throwing the same stuff at the wall, expecting different results? I mean, at some point, what's the definition of insanity? Well, it's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting it to change.
If you can't fix it, then you are in the wrong business. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, this is not, oh, well, you know, the Avs have had a bad power play for years and years and years. The Avs have had a top of the league caliber power play with Nathan McKinnon on it. The Avs have had a top of the league caliber power play with Val Nichushkin on it, with Arturi Lehkonen on it. Yeah, Brock Nelson a little bit new to the team, but frankly, he's been the best thing about your power play for most of this season. Okay, Marty Natchez, what are you doing? You're trying to figure it out with Nathan McKinnon? Sure.
Also,
it's February
of 2026 too, not
right.
You know, it's the same February 2025. You've been here a couple of weeks. Like, this is your full year into the system now.
Yeah, like all of these guys were on the team. I guess Nelson came
not
pretty
quite,
late,
yeah.
But everyone else was on the team that plays on this power play in February of last year. And it's been an unmitigated disaster. Like, you can't, there's no saving it. There's no recompense. There's no, oh, it's fine. You are the best team in the NHL in spite of your power play, not because of it. And, I'm happy to eat my words if the Avs trundle through the rest of the season on the power play and then have a 25% power play in the playoffs. Awesome. I would love to eat my words on that. But how could you possibly think that was going to happen if they don't fix it here and now?
I mean, especially considering the struggles you had just this past season. In the postseason, it feels like you can argue that there's so much skill on this team that, I think you can talk yourself into that outcome of this team is just simply too good to not figure it out at some point, and maybe that proves to be true. I think there's also something to be said. You have a ginormous sample size now of it just not being good enough. And again, that's where I keep coming back to what's your reaction be mid-June if this is what holds you back? Because it's not like anybody's going to be sitting there thinking, well, that's crazy. I mean, I can't believe the power play didn't show up. It's going to be, this is what we were saying for 8 straight months.
Yeah, they're at least under this last stretch of bad hockey, the lack of effort is something new, something unusual. Doesn't make it okay, but it's like, all right, this is
not the theme with this team.
This isn't who the Avs are. We're not worried about them being a team that suddenly doesn't try anymore. It's just a weird stretch of the season where, again, as much as I've been crashing out about this section of the season for the Colorado Avalanche, there's a pretty good argument that they've earned a week off. There's a pretty good argument that they could lose to the San Jose Sharks 20-0 on Wednesday.
You're still going to have a good goal differential and everything else.
You're not going to care about that game at all. They're still the best team in the league with all of the issues that they have. But the power play has been a constant. Someone has to pay for this. And I don't mean like, you got to fire everybody. Although I wouldn't be upset if they fired Dave Haxtell. He's not doing his job. But what are the consequences of continued disastrously poor play on the power play? Because right now the consequences for your best players have been nothing. It's been go out there and do it again. At a certain point,
are these the type of results you almost need to have because it might finally spark some change? Like there's an argument that when the power play was bad in November and you're still winning these games and you're grinding it out, it's easy to be like, well, we're up by 12 points on the division. We won 9 straight games or whatever it is. Like maybe this is finally what you need to finally look in the mirror, to finally be like, we have to change something. Enough is enough.
The Avs' success this season has allowed them to use the carrot for the majority of the season on the power play, right? Hey, if you guys play well on the power play,
just imagine.
It's going to make our lives easier. Hey, if you guys do well on the power play, I'll buy you a steak dinner, right? Dinner's on the goalie or whatever. It's time to use the stick. It's time for punishment to be doled out for lack of ability to score on the power play. And in some sequences, that's going to be tough to hear because part of the failure of the power play is failure of execution. It's failure of Cale Makar to hit the net consistently. It's failure of Nathan MacKinnon to hit the net consistently. But part of the issue on the power play is also simply lack of doing the thing you're supposed to do.
Once I can live if the power play goes 0 for 3, but you feel like, man, they were cycling, guys were moving, they were ripping the puck on net. Just credit the goalie. He made 8 incredible saves, and he won that game by playing on top of his head. That was not even remotely what happened tonight.
Did you make Gibson make a single great save on the power play tonight?
I don't think so.
Me neither. You should have. If Val Nichushkin
shoots
that puck
on
and
net,
he makes a great save,
Parker Kelly doesn't whiff. Yeah. If, Makar and McKinnon had a couple of chances.
They aren't doing the things that make you say, oh, that team beat you. They're doing the things that make you say, oh, you beat yourself.
Yeah.
That's the simplest way that I can put that when it comes to the Avs power play. And look, if I had an answer that I was sure would work, I'd be working for the Colorado Avalanche right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here on a microphone at 11:05 Mountain Time.
The idea that anyone has the answer to this, if you're confident you know someone who has the answer, go work for the Avs, please. Like, I want you in there. But it's gotten to the breaking point of almost anything would be better.
It's just, God, I mean, it's so down bad right now that like you feel it. It's funny to be in the arena because you feel the energy just leave.
Yep.
Like it should be this electrifying rallying moment of like, oh man, the Avs are about to put it on, and they go on the power play and you feel the groans in the crowd of like, oh my God.
That blew me away. Avs, Colorado's always had a great in-arena crowd. They always cheer for the Avs hard. And on that second power play, they had a stretch of 30 seconds of no one moving, no one even looking towards the net. Perimeter, Makar, McKinnon, back to Makar, over to Nelson, clearly accomplishing nothing, clearly watching the team stand perfectly still. And a significant portion of the crowd, I wouldn't go so far as to say they were boos, but you could feel the angry energy in the crowd.
It's palpable.
Of like,
the frustration is legit. I mean, it's a smart audience.
Yeah.
Don't placate them.
And they ultimately came up short. It is what it is. I can only speak so much about the power play.
It's just
season.
It's not dependable.
It is not.
Like our awesome partners
Got him.
over at Toyota.
God, does that power play need a Toyota? Holy cow.
They need something, man. Toyotas are going to get you where you need to go. The Avs need a Toyota on the power play. Trucks have always been a part of Toyota's DNA. For generations, Toyota has built durable legends destined for greatness and perfect for Colorado. Whether you're conquering off-road trails, whether you're hauling the weight of the world, there's a Toyota truck that's just right for you. Check out the Tacoma. Check out the Land Cruiser. Toyota has 17 models available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the Epic 4Runner. They also offer more low and zero emission vehicles than any other automaker combined to give customers numerous choices to reduce that carbon footprint. 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from. Check out the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. And again, Toyota SUVs, they're perfect for Colorado because they're versatile, they're dependable. You can drive them around Cap Hill. You can take them to the ski slopes, whatever you are into. There's a Toyota that's going to get you there. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain Slates Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Toyota is a proud partner of the Colorado Avalanche. Toyota, let's go places.
Now, if I were a Dallas fan in chat, I'd be more worried about betting on whether Dallas is going to beat Minnesota in the standings than the Avalanche. You got bigger problems. You got fish to fry. Go put your money where your mouth is on Bet365 and pick Dallas to win if you're so confident. Or if you're an Avs fan and you want to hedge your bets and do an emotional hedge, pick the Avs to lose, apparently. That's the bet to make lately. Go get with Bet365. You can sign up with a DNVR365 code. When you do, put $10 in your account, bet $5 in anything. Don't even have to hit that $5 bet, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets to play around with. Whether it's betting on the Avs, whether it's betting on the big game coming up, you can do it all. Does not matter what you bet on with Bet365. That's your business. But with the bonus bets, it's like playing with free money. If you bet on an NHL game, the team you pick to win, if they get up by 3 at any point, you get paid out immediately. You don't have to worry about comebacks. You don't have to worry about the rest of the game. You get your pay. Again, use DNVR365 code to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose. You don't have to bet on anything particular because the bonus bets can be used all over the site. Of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. Of course, if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Again, use the QR code on screen to get the Bet365 app today and use the DNVR365 code when you do. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, and we've got Bailey Curtis calling in on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Bailey, what do you even say? Avs' first shutout of the season. Not good enough?
What do you say after something like that? I mean, you get very minimal efforts from most of the team that is not named Mackenzie Blackwood. That's it.
Fact.
That's it, really. So, I don't really know.
What's the vibe post game like? Because I mean, you come on the show pregame, you're talking about how Cale Makar's talking about this is going to be like a playoff type game, and then to lay an egg the way that they did, I mean, it was so disappointing.
Frustration was the big word you used in the locker room today, and that's understandable. But I think also the feeling is that they knew to expect this. I think the really interesting situation here is they felt fairly confident in a lot of what they were putting up. It's just they didn't generate enough chances. A lot of their chances were missing the net. That was the big thing kind of talk about. And so at least that realization, the first step in having a problem, or at least addressing a problem, is admitting that you have a problem, right? So at least that step has been taken. The next step is being able to do something about it. And that starts with putting more shots on net. That starts with being able to create those chances earlier than you did. Putting up 12 shots on net in 40 minutes of hockey is a little unacceptable for what this team is capable of. And the fact that you all but total what you put up in the first period through the first half of the third period, like that just is further proof that they know how to do it. They know how to create these chances. It's creating quality chances too that kind of grind my gears too. And they realize that. They realize that not capitalizing on some of those opportunities that they had. You look at a Nathan MacKinnon whiffing on pucks and throwing them wide. You look at a Cale Makar not hitting the net. That Val Nichushkin opportunity is what kind of seals it for me. So it's about execution at the end of the day. The effort really doesn't help. You get really good effort from guys like Jack Drury and Parker Kelly, but really that's where, aside from Mackenzie Blackwood, that's where it ends for me. And at the end of the day, everybody's just frustrated that they couldn't have a better momentum type response for this one.
I love that you bring up Jack Drury and Parker Kelly, because I do think you got good efforts out of them, and you also saw their limitations of their ability to execute, right? There's a reason they're bottom six players and Nathan MacKinnon and Val Nichushkin are top six players. So when you look at that execution conversation, it comes down to the Avs' best guys, right? And how much of a built-in excuse is, oh, no Marty Necas, oh, no Gabe Landeskog tonight? How much do you give them a pass there versus how much is it even more important for them to step up in those situations?
Look what happened during the last game on Saturday.
Yeah.
That is my response to that question.
Fair.
They're able to do it. It doesn't matter. You have some Detroit opportunities that are being missed out on tonight as well, and they're able to sort of capitalize on that and break the puck out of their own zone in being able to kind of capitalize on those opportunities and being able to push the puck the other way. What really sucks here is you don't get a Nathan MacKinnon performing the way that he should, or at least the way that he did in the game on Saturday, and that really hurts. That is one of the biggest things. And Cale Makar too, obviously, but you see Nathan MacKinnon get back on the board and do what you know he's able to do on Saturday, and not being able to get that consistently hurts and sucks. And the fact that you're having to rely on a lot of these depth guys to carry the weight for you. As much as we can be excited about a Ross Colton and Parker Kelly being able to get on the board and do the things that they've been able to do for the last 5 or so games, give or take. At the end of the day, it comes down to your top guys. It comes down to Nathan MacKinnon being able to produce on any given night. It comes down to guys like Valeri Nichushkin being able to capitalize, guys like Arturi Lehkonen doing what he's known for doing in front of the net and trying to produce more consistently. You need your top guys to step up. You need them, especially in games like this where it's great that you're getting performances out of Jack Drury and Parker Kelly, but they can't be the best guys out on the ice. This has been the conversation for the last few games. It can't happen. That cannot be the case when you are down 1-0 for 59 minutes of hockey. That is unacceptable from your top guys.
I know we've touched on this at various points on lots of shows, so I don't want to get too repetitive, but just how much on a night like tonight do you miss the presence of a Gabriel Landeskog and that leadership where he can be that voice in the room and challenge someone like a Nathan MacKinnon or a Cale Makar to step up and rise to the occasion? I just feel like, especially in a game like this where it's inevitably going to get frustrating, and then you get MacKinnon in kind of his moody moments. Like, I don't know. It feels like you would have loved to have Landy's presence tonight.
Absolutely. I am at a weird spot with the Landy situation because as much as I do think that his presence is missed, and I think, there's a bunch of different things factoring into a performance like this. You've got, one game left until the break, and that's I think a big part of it. Landy, I also think, is a big part of this. But, Nathan MacKinnon needs to learn how to function without a guy like Gabe Landeskog. Full stop.
Do your job even when dad's not around.
Yeah.
That
move out,
needs
kid.
to be, he needs to be able to fly the nest and function without Gabe Landeskog on the ice. You see him do it for 3 years, and his point production isn't hurt because of it. A big conversation throughout the last year and a half too, where this buildup of Landeskog returning, the narrative has been Landeskog is not the only voice in that room. Yes, it's nice having your leader back. It's nice having him on the ice with you. It's nice seeing him around and having him contribute to a lot of the conversations between periods and during the game where you can kind of bounce ideas off of him, and he's a really smart hockey player. But there's also a million other voices in that room. Bednar has mentioned multiple times that this is a very vocal locker room, and that comes from guys like Cale Makar, guys like Devon Toews, guys like a Nathan MacKinnon, who really, we joke about Mad Kinnon, wears his heart on his sleeve. And you see that a lot during games. Having to rely on Gabe Landeskog seems like an easy out for me. That cannot be the case, especially when you can't rely on everybody. It takes one play, 1 second for somebody to go down, get injured. We've seen that with Landeskog. You cannot solely rely on everyone to be there fully. Health can come and go in the NHL. That is the way that it works. With that, you cannot rely on a guy like Gabe Landeskog to keep Nathan MacKinnon in check. There's no excuse for it.
No, I'm good. Give me the easy out. I don't need any more hard outs. Just get Landy healthy and let that be the solution. I
hope that's the solution. And if that's how you get Nathan MacKinnon back, I'm all for it. I'm just saying, what's to stop Gabe Landeskog from getting injured again? And then this is the exact same conversation.
I think your logic is spot on. I just don't know if anybody else has the status in the moment. Like, it's one thing to be vocal, especially when things are going well. It's another thing when you're just completely getting outplayed and somebody kind of needs to put Nate in his place. I just don't know who else is that guy if not Landy.
There is no one else. That is the easy answer to this. There is nobody else. I just feel very weirdly about that leash only going one way, or that rope only going one way, with Landy being the, catalyst for a lot of these MacKinnon issues.
Let me ask you, jumping off that then, because we spent a lot of time with both these guys out saying, hey, it feels like Toews is probably a bigger impact guy to get back on the ice. Now, unfortunately, that first goal is Devon Toews making a bad pinch and him directly being his own worst enemy there. But you watch the Avs defense execute through the rest of this game and struggle to effectively break the Avs out in effective ways and get them going and maybe give them more opportunities to get in the offensive zone and shots on goal. I don't want to put this the wrong way because, again, this is not something I'm worried about long-term for Colorado. But was there an expectation that the Avs defense would take a bigger step forward here in this game with Toews back in the lineup? I know they lost 2-0, but as we stated earlier, that's because of Mackenzie Blackwood, not because of the Avs defense.
of two minds here. I think there's a lot of jump that you get from getting a guy like Devon Toews back in the lineup. But I also think there's a bit of a grace period that you give for a guy like him in his first game back.
For his own play, for sure.
For his own play, absolutely. But that's kind of where I'm at, factor-wise, is you expect there to be some sort of jump when a Devon Toews returns to the lineup. And in hearing things pregame and after morning skate, everybody was so excited, could not say enough good things about what getting a Devon Toews back in the lineup does for this team, confidence-wise. Again, as I mentioned pregame, there's something to be said about Bednar putting so much faith in him being, when it comes to playing his role, one of the best defensemen in the league. I think there's to a point there. There's a little bit of, accuracy, and I can, argue that point. I do also think, though, that missing somebody like that for a month, you get into a bit of a funk. Like your roles have kind of been assigned, and you're looking to pick up some of that slack for a guy like Devon Toews being missing for a month. And so there's some shifting and things that have to happen. I'm not expecting a guy like Devon Toews to come back into the lineup and automatically all of the defensive problems are fixed. I feel like that's a fairly naive way of thinking. Give it a couple games, give it till after the break, and then I would ask you to ask me the same question, because right now I'm willing to give a little bit more grace to the defense tonight.
Given your thought just there, my last question is, on a scale of let's play 10 more games to please God just get to the break, where are you at with the Colorado Avalanche?
Get to the break, man. I feel like, especially with the rants we've gone on recently, we need this break just as much as they do.
No kidding.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is just at this point, if you go and win your next game, like, that's cool, that's great, and I think that gives them a lot of thoughts to build off of heading out of the break. Just get to the break. Yep. Get some of these guys the much needed rest that they deserve, and come out of the break a better team than you were in January. I was hoping February would be the fix, but obviously I was wrong. So maybe they need to get to the end of February and all of our prayers will be answered, or seance circles, or whatever we need to do to get this team back on track.
Any fears, big picture, just about the lack of dominance at home of late? I mean, you're not going to win every single home game, obviously, but I don't know. I guess that was really my only thing, was that it was just disappointing to see them lay such an egg on home ice, particularly after not exactly taking care of business in the 7-game homestand. Point-wise, it was fine, but is that just more of the timing of this being before the Olympic break, or like, is there any concern? I don't know. It's probably a stretch.
I really think that's all it is. At some point, you get a game like tonight where Bednar's not putting any of it on what the crowd looked like. It really is about the mindset of the team at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what kind of fans you're playing against or in front of. And the timing here is really, really important. You've got guys, as much as they will sit and tell us during interviews that they're really not thinking about the Olympics, or their minds are, you get that comment from Cale Makar today. As much as they will say that, I think that couldn't be further from the truth. There's a little bit of it affecting in the back of their minds, I'm sure, that's just like, okay, we've got 2 more games. Okay, we got 1 more game. We just need to get there. And I think that's been the mindset since, game in the last couple games of the homestand. I really, truly think, as much as I want to complain about the effort levels and what they've been producing the last couple games, I truly think we see a different version of this Avs team coming out of the Olympic break.
I think you're correct. I also think it's fair to say their effort levels have been BS for the last 3 games.
Both can
games.
be true.
Yeah.
Both can be absolutely true.
That's all I got. Bailey, any final thoughts on this one before we let you go?
What else is there left to say? That's where I'm at.
I have nothing. I truly have nothing much else to say. We'll let you go. Thank you for calling in. That was Bailey Curtis on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Go follow all of her great stuff. Her instant reaction, I'm sure, is already out on our website if you want to see what she had to say in writing. Let's hear from Jared Bednar on this one, too, because if I have nothing left to say, I'm sure Jared has something to say.
Questions for head coach Jared Bednar? Go ahead, Ron Bolden.
Jared, it's 1-0 until that empty netter there, but Devontae's talked about sort of a lack of execution from the team. He seemed pretty frustrated by that. Is that kind of your read on how that game went?
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't make as many plays, I think, as normal. I give, it didn't look like we had like our full energy tonight, so it's hard to create against a team that, like, I give Detroit a lot of credit for that because they checked really well, especially in D zone. Like, most of our good looks and most dangerous looks came off face-offs, rush attack, a couple of good looks in O-zone play, but like enough to get one, but we didn't get one, right? And we gave up one early, which is sort of a tough start to the game. So tight checking game on both sides, both teams committed to it. I just thought they did a really nice job. Like, I think at one point we had 2 of our 16-point shots through to the net, you know, like they got sticks on a lot of like opportunities for us. They blocked a lot of shots and they made it hard to get to the inside. And when we did, we didn't capitalize on them.
Colleen.
Just what can you say as far as, obviously not the result you wanted, but with Mackenzie Blackwood's play tonight?
Yeah, he's stringing together some nice games here, you know, like, obviously the Detroit game, Toronto, now this one, so he's getting back in the swing of things. He's been working hard at it, trying to get him in the net a little bit more here. Obviously we got a big break coming up, but he's giving us a chance to win every night right now.
Megan.
Talking about maybe some of the energy throughout the game, it does seem like the Kelly jury line has been a constant source of that going back to the road trip.
Yeah.
How have you been able to be that a little bit?
Well, I mean, we're missing a whole line, right? So it's like the depth scoring isn't quite where it needs to be, but we have, like, those guys can play against anyone, so I don't worry about the matchup side of it. And they have a little chemistry. Like, they're creating as many dangerous chances as their top guys are, you know, and, you know, like there's some guys out of the lineup there, so there's some new lines, but on a nightly basis, they're highly competitive. They seem like they're skating pretty well. They're, you know, dialed in. They had a couple of the really good looks tonight. Kelly had 2 in the slot. So that the more they play together, the better they play, and the more I'm trying to use them.
Any last ones for you, Evan? Go ahead.
Just with the power play, like, you're not getting as many anymore at this point in the season, but
Yeah.
like, is there a concern that it's like mentally kind of getting to the players that they're overthinking these at this point?
I think we're kind of been through that multiple times through the course of the season. I would say the last couple games has been really focused and determined at trying to do the right things, and they're all kind of on the same page. So, again, Detroit has something to say about it, but the 2 power plays the other night in Detroit were outstanding. Might have been 2 of our best of the year, and we didn't capitalize on a bunch of good looks. Tonight, probably the biggest one we get is Val on the back door there late in the game with an empty net that we shoot back into the goalie. So their chances are hard to come by. So I don't know. I'm sure, yeah, there's frustration kind of when the power play ends, but it seems like at the start of the power play, they're kind of focused and ready to go and trying to make a difference, and just has to continue. You got to stick with it.
Finish with D-Mac.
What if any difference does it make when there's such an overwhelming amount of fans from the other team here? Does that have any impact on energy or anything else on the game?
No, I don't think so.
So no factors tonight.
I thought the crowd, you're hearing noise, right? So it was an energetic building right from the start, I thought, tonight. And I was hoping that would help our group. And, like, I think our guys played hard tonight, no question. I give Detroit all the credit there. Like, we weren't at our best, but I think they competed hard. They defended hard. We made some mistakes here and there, and we had to grind for our chances tonight big time, right? And So there wasn't a lot of them. I didn't think either team had a lot of chances, but it was, it was tough sledding out there tonight. So I got to give them credit. They checked really hard tonight.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Could not get out of there fast enough.
Oh my God, was he ready to go? Not that I blame him. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be there after that game, man. I mean, I'll shave my head probably by the end of the Olympics. For chat, worried about that. But for the record, this was part of the 10-game win streak, like the second one.
I mean, we were Marshall Mathering it up, and the vibes were great.
Indeed. The Avs need the real Slim Shady at this point.
No kidding. Who is the real Slim Shady? Well, we find out this year.
It's Mad Mac.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah. I do want to end this as like the Avs are playing a bad stretch of hockey. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10. The 2022 Cup run had a regular season that included 2 stretches of 4-5-1 hockey.
It's good perspective.
Great teams are allowed to have bad stretches. You're just not allowed to have them in the playoffs.
I mean, we know what this team's capable of. I just think it's frustrating that it's the same stuff repeatedly.
Yep. Agree.
Like, I could almost live with and be far less frustrated if it was, well, this game they had 6 penalties and this game, was turnovers and it's the same stuff every time they come up short.
Yep. It's
lack of effort and lack of execution on the power play.
Well, and I think that's how good this team is. The only reason they lose with any regularity is lack of effort. When this team puts the work in, they're going to win. Seriously, like 85% of the time because they are that good. And it's good to keep that perspective. Look, I'm first in line for team crash out over those 2 games they played on the road. I hated it. I wanted it to die. But it's good to keep some perspective and understand that as it stands right now, the Colorado Avalanche are the best team in the league by 5 points. And that team that's within 5 points of them, they have 3 games in hand on. There is no one really that close to Colorado that you need to be freaking out about this hockey team. Now, if they play a horrible game against San Jose on Wednesday and they come back from the Olympic break and play a couple more stinkers, yeah, you have a problem. But we are not there yet. Do not punish the Avs for something they haven't done yet. They are far from blowing this.
And like you said, I mean, there's human nature in all of this. You're not going to play an 82 game season where it's just 82 perfect games.
No, not reality. The best team in the history of the NHL lost 15 games. Yeah. And is it fun when you're losing? No, obviously. These games suck. The Avs just spent 60 minutes not scoring, not even really coming all that close to scoring. And when they did come close, they flubbed it. Not fun.
When you're also in this weird predicament, both as an organization and even like a fan base of, we all know the ultimate goal is Stanley Cup or bust. If you have 120 points this season, you get eliminated in the first round. Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
120 points mean nothing. Yeah, 100%. We are, people don't want to admit it, but the rest of the NHL regular season is purely academic for the Colorado Avalanche. Of course, you want the first seed. Of course, you want to give yourself the best chance. But if they go to the Stanley Cup, no one cares what seed they are.
I mean, for me, obviously, just put yourself in the best possible position to make run, and by doing that is securing the 1 seed. Potentially avoiding, Minnesota or Dallas in the first round would be lovely. Yep. But yeah, I mean, if we're really being honest about the situation the Avs are in, the goals are secure the 1 seed and make the power play salvageable.
Yeah.
Not even make it great. Make it not a liability anymore. And if you do that, this team very likely is going to go on a deep run.
And it's that second one for me. I'm really not that concerned about this team securing the 1 seed.
I'm not either, but I mean, just in principle,
of course,
you've put yourself in this position. don't find a way to somehow piss it away. That would be brutal.
You have to get the job done there, but there's a good amount of confidence that they can. There's not a good amount of confidence that they can solve their power play right now until they prove otherwise.
I haven't seen anything with even remotely enough consistency to believe that they're close to turning a corner.
Yeah.
You have a game here or there where it's like, I guess that was kind of better execution. And even then it's still like 1 for 4 at best.
1 for 4.
At this point, we would take a 1 for 4. That's
4. Yeah. It'd go 1 for 6 and you'd be getting better. Like,
but it's so bad it almost defies logic with this team. How can a team with this much talent be this frustrating on the power play? Shouldn't be possible.
It's almost like Twilight Zone level stuff, honestly. Like, I cannot explain it. We know they're better than what they've shown. Like, even if you don't believe that the Avs have an elite power play, anyone who's watched hockey know they're not a 10% power play unit. Like, that's not real. It's not. If they put the effort into it, they will not be that. And yet here we are.
24th best power play in the league at this point. Like,
be a significant improvement. And yet they don't do it until they do it. So I can't ramble about it anymore. We'll leave it at that. We'll be back tomorrow for an off day pod. Tune in. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Postgame Show presented by Bet365, and we will see you on the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.